Hello everyone, how are we doing today? So, I wanted to share with you some recent acquisitions that I thought you might find interesting. Maybe not, but I'm going to share them just the same. But first, thank you very much, Eddie. I really thought that was very kind. I love the Darth Vader glasses. Everybody knows how much I enjoy Vader, but thank you. Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about some tin toys that I recently acquired. Spared no expense. I sort of stumbled across them, I guess, if you would, or if you will. The company, they're German tin toys, and in their day, they are the best. I'm not sure that's the right word, but they are the finest tin toys that were manufactured at the time. And the name of the company is Technofix. Now, Technofix actually started in Nuremberg in 1922. They weren't originally called Technofix at that time. There was a couple of brothers, Johann and I think George, Ian Fault, and I think there were a couple other brothers. And I think the company was called GE, something German. And it wasn't until 1935 that they formally changed their name to Technofix. And they started early on in sort of the penny toys. I think in markets and things like that, we put a penny in, and the two planes would fly around a tower in a circle, kind of bouncing up and down, doing those kind of things, or the fighting kangaroos, small little tin toys. And they eventually graduated into more complicated toys in the early to mid 30s. Now, any of you who actually read will recognize Nuremberg is in Germany. We're talking about the mid 30s, so this is the rise of Adolf Hitler and Aryan, supremacy and all that kind of nonsense. And a lot of these companies sort of went away. And fortunately for Technofix, when the dust settled, again, as many of you know, Germany was essentially split in half in 1945. The east side, I think, was the German Democratic Republic, which was basically just Russia keeping their half of Germany. And on the west portion of Germany, at least for about 10 years, from 45 to 55, West Germany, if you will, was broke up into three zones. There was the US zone, the France zone, and the British, or Great Britain zone. Unfortunately for Technofix, Nuremberg landed in the US zone. And some of what makes these toys valuable is that very thing. These are two boxes. I'm going to show you what I purchased here in a second. But here's a box here, and I'll show you a close-up. It actually says on here somewhere, made in US zone Germany. We'll zoom in on it here in a second, and I will show you the toy. And here's the other box. Obviously, I have these boxes for the toys, and they were both produced 46 to 50, we'll say, right in. Now Technofix continued, obviously, after the war, very successfully, because all of these toys immediately went to the United States market, and they were quite successful well into the 60s, because they're quality made, but they're still somewhat inexpensive toys for little kids. They're just wind up tin toys. Today they're sought after because they are easily damaged, and some that are in great shape obviously become valuable to hoople heads like me. But by the late 60s, early 70s, the era of plastic begins. And I don't know this for certain, but I'm going to say typical of most companies that are successful, they tend to rest on their laurels a little too long, saying, plastic is a passing fad, that's not going to last. And for Technofix, of course, they were wrong. Plastic became all the rage, and by 1978, Technofix was no more. But let me break these toys out. I think you'll get a kick out of them. They're worth a look. So let's take a look. Right now, here's the first toy. So again, first up is just, this is the original box. Here's the very simple train set. It's just tin, you know, nothing revolutionary, but it is in basically mint condition. You can see here, there's some raised components that will hold the train, and it's tender. And you can see right here, we can zoom in close enough. Made in US zone Germany, which adds tremendous value to this. But essentially, you took this little train right here and you wound it up with a key, which is right there. And you set it on the track here, and you know, it just goes around the track. Now, what I haven't been able to figure out, here's its little tender, is how it hooks up, because you can see here, there doesn't appear to be anything broke on either end, so I don't see a connection point that's missing. It's not magnetic. And on the tail end of the locomotive itself, also nothing appears to be missing. Those are just the bends of the tin toy. So I'm not sure, again, how these two would connect to go around. Maybe they never did. I don't know. If someone knows, please share with me. But let's wind this up and take it for a quick spin. Okay, again, pretty straightforward. You just put the key in, you give it a few ticks. Now again, this doesn't attach, so we're just gonna put the locomotive on here. The little boy or girl would set it on here, and there she goes. Spend hours on the floor watching it make a figure eight. But considering it's 70-something years old, I think that's pretty amazing. Again, I haven't figured out how this connects, because there is no broken piece, nothing is wrong. Same with a locomotive. But how fun is that, right? Anyway. Pretty cool, huh? I realize it's not the most exciting toy in the world. You know, the train just goes around in a circle. And I do not know, as I mentioned before, those two components do not go together. They're not magnetic. There's no connection. Nothing is broke. So I haven't quite figured out. I have to do some more reading. I have to crack a book and try to figure out what the point is of those two. I'm missing something. But be that as it may, as you can see, it's in amazing condition, and I'm super excited to have it. And I kind of get a kick out of watching it go in a circle. But here, this next one is especially unique. Take a look at this thing. So our second Technofix is the Mountain Express. It's quite long. Again, it is in, you know, absolutely amazing shape. You can see the key there. There's a little trolley. We'll show you how it works here in a second. If we zoom in, you'll be able to see made in US zone Germany. The graphics and stuff are just amazing and impeccable. Now, the car kind of gives you an air, late 40s for the most part. I'll show you how it works here in a second. And the graphics on the back side, again, are the same. And these tracks here, they collapse. They basically fold underneath this, and then these here come off. Kind of give you an idea here. They're very, very simple toys. Again, here's the box as we discussed, and you can see right here, made in US zone Germany. Here's sort of the back side of, I don't know, back or front, but more graphic. Got a sailboat there in the trolley. And the condition is just amazing. But let's wind this bad boy up so you can sort of see. It's brutally simple, but you'll get the idea here. 1 second. All right, what I'm gonna do is just wind up this trolley a little bit here. It's pretty straightforward. For a few turns, that should do. And then pick you guys up. All we have to do is essentially we just set it here and well, let's see what happens. That's it. Do it again. Have to reset. Set her down here again. I mean, this has been just riveting for kids. You can see the teeth there on the track. I'll show you the bottom side of this trolley. It's got some gears that just sort of grabs the track. So it's actually fairly clever. But here we go. Obviously there's an arrow that points the way for the slower kids. Here we go. Okay. Let's do that one more time because it's just that much fun. One more time. Anyway, you see the gears there. You can see the gears, and that's what does all the grabbing here on the track itself. So it just stays right in place. I thought it was awesome. Now it's mine. Anyway. Right, am I wrong? Is that not the strangest thing? I guarantee you'll probably never see another one like it. Obviously, kids were easily entertained in the late 40s and early 50s. Probably all shell-shocked. But fun just the same. So anyway, that's Technofix. You got to see the last one you saw was the Mountain Express, which is this box. And then this one is just, a train set. But boxes, they sit on my tables and are displayed, and occasionally I wind them up and enjoy them for a moment or two. Anyway, in this world, when you could be anything you want, be kind, be humble, be forgiving, and look into some of these. I think it's kind of interesting, and they're sort of fun, and there's fewer and fewer of them around, especially in good condition, and soon they'll be gone. My nephews will probably, when I'm gone, will sell them and be able to buy a house. I don't know. Anyway, take care.